So I had this crazy idea to build a guitar pedal lamp. Basically a guitar pedal that sat on your desk and illuminated in some way that was made out of brass and acrylic and wood. It just so happens that Makera reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to review their new production Z1 machine. I said yes, this is a perfect opportunity to showcase the features of the Z1 and build an entire guitar fuzz pedal from scratch using only the Z1. Let's get to it. This entire journey began as a vintage Fuzz Face. This is a vintage Fuzz Face and it's a handful of components and a handful of wires. This is what the PCB trace looks like. So I thought, why don't I just trace the trace with vectors? And once I have the vectors traced, I can then move these lines and manipulate them to become any shape I wanted. And I came up with this, a bug. And I thought this bug is interesting. It's a circuit that deserves to live outside of a PCB. And so this is what we're going to build. It's a very simple NPM silicone schematic circuit, but we have to test it because I moved so many things around. I don't know if this is going to work. So I think what we're going to do is make a PCB before we machine brass. Let's take a look at the final product. This is the final product. This is what I designed. So this is 3 millimeters thick brass. And I thought this looks gorgeous. And then to top it off, it's got an amazing custom wooden base that I designed. The acrylic sits in the slots and there are 3 holes right in here that allows us to put some LEDs. And those LEDs are going to let us essentially illuminate the acrylic. And the inside is simply here to house the ground rail, the battery, and the LEDs. All the other components are going to be offline. It was a very simple, minimal circuit, but I think it's going to look absolutely gorgeous. Let's start to build it. We have 2 boxes. We have the main box that's housing the Makera Z1. This is fully assembled. All we have to do is lift it out of the box and put it down onto our bench. We also have the cyclone dust collector. All the Makeras are actually packed really well and efficiently, so all the stuff and accessories are inside it. So we're just going to lift this lid and take out all of these goodies. There are so many accessories you can get with the Z1. I was lucky enough to get a few of these, including the ionizer module that helps static electricity go down inside the machine. I had a whole bunch of clamps come with my machine, including some side clamps. The Z1 low profile vise is an incredible piece of kit. It's all aluminum. And not only that, but it actually has these machined holes at the bottom that line up with the bed so you can install it flawlessly. We also get a toolkit with the Makera that comes with everything you need to get started, including the collar bit setter, all the little bolts, and some end mills. You can also get a 3D wired probe to actually probe your stock on the bed if you wanted to. And the big one is you could also get a vacuum bed. The vacuum bed is going to allow you to hold very thin, large pieces like, for example, PCBs. That way you don't have to worry about work holding. And if you want more information on these accessories, I highly recommend going to the Makera website where there's an in-depth overview on each one of these. All right, let's move on. The cyclone dust collector is installed and so is my emergency switch. This is my favorite feature here. There's so many times when you just have to quickly stop the process because you realize you did something wrong when you're making your tool paths. So I really do dig this. So I do have these really cool single-sided boards that Makera provides in their kit. And then for my tool paths, all I'm doing, this is really simple, is I'm actually taking a pocket operation. So in this case, if you take a look at this, it's just a pocket. So it's basically clearing out all of the excess copper and only leaving the copper that I need. I have the PC board mounted here. And what I did was I lasered my PCB just so I can see how big it was. But for now, what I'm doing is I'm work holding this and I'm avoiding the areas I'm going to be actually milling. And so what I'm going to do next is the level probing. So with the probe attached, what the Makera Z1 is going to do is probe at a variety of different points here to ensure that it knows and can map the variations on the height of this PCB board, because this PCB board is not perfectly flat. And because we're working with just tiny tolerances, I'm only taking up 0.1 millimeters of material, I need to ensure we get the material off all over the board evenly. So we're going to do a quick probe real quick. Okay, the first operation is going to be putting the holes in. So I'm just using a 1 millimeter drill bit with a drilling operation, and just going to show you how quickly it is to switch out a tool. So we just drop down the lever, pull out the probe, and then I'm going to grab my 1mm drill bit in the chuck, and then that's it. So now it's going to do its thing and start the drill operation. All right, so these PCBs are done. I made two, was able to fit two on one sheet. And now all I need to do is remove it from the bed and then cut out the tabs. So there's 4 tabs on each one. So my small boards are complete. I fit 2 per sheet. They look really adorable and super cute. And I use tabs for work holding. So I'll just have to cut the tabs out and then file the edges down. Now my next project is going to be the big one, but we're going to do the big one in solid brass. So this is a solid brass sheet. We're going to make it this size, or roughly a size that'll fit in there. Machine the parts so they're super thick. And then in the clear acrylic, make pockets. It's going to look so cool if you can imagine the shiny brass. I'm doing some unique tool paths here, so I only want to machine what I have to and not what's unnecessary, otherwise the machining time goes up. So what I did was I did an outline around the bug, so it's only machining the part that I need, but only minimal amounts of it around it. So all this is not machined. None of this gets machined. So I'm not wasting any time. Okay, so the machining's done, and what I had to do here in this case was leave an onion skin. And this onion skin is 0.2 millimeters, which is almost nothing. But it's enough for the actual contour pass to be able to make these pieces and not have them fly out, right, cutting all the way through. You can't cut all the way through. And then my idea is once I take this off, I can sand through the bottom to get that onion skin off. So just to give you an example, look how pretty these parts came out. So that right there is an onion skin of 0.2 millimeters. I'll put this on a sanding block and sand until that onion skin comes off. So I was able to take this piece off, and I got this little piece off here. I'm just kind of going back and forth, and then it comes off. So this is my process for removing the onion skin on these tiny little pieces. And it's just a few seconds, like I'm just talking right now, and that's it. That's all you need. And then there's the onion skin, so then I just kind of peel it off and it's gone. That's it. And that's what the bottom looks like. Nice, kind of nice surface there. The pockets on the acrylic are finished. All this fuzziness is coming from that protective film that's on the top of this. I just left it on. All right, the pieces do fit in there. I have this end all the way in, and I'm scared to push the other one in because then I won't be able to get it out. I'm not ready for this yet, but they do fit. I'll do another piece to show you. Here's another piece. So, oh, it's going all the way down. We don't want that. So it does fit perfectly in there. Now we're gonna machine the wooden base, and this is a hefty chunk of wood. This wooden base requires double-sided milling, but I'm not going to be doing this the proper way. What I'm going to do is just machine the bottom first. And I'm using the center point as the origin. And what I've done is I made lines all the way around so that I know what the center point is on the other side. So when I flip it, I'll just use the same center point to machine it. right, so I finished this part of the machining. This is the actual bottom of the wooden base. And so I have here the cavity control lip. So there's going to be an actual cover on here made out of acrylic. I have the holes for the magnets. So these little things are magnet pockets, which we'll also have on the cover, so it'll just snap into place. And I put 3 little peck drilling operations here, and these are for the LEDs. And so what's going to happen is these 3 LEDs will shine through these little tubes or pockets and then hit the acrylic, and it's going to look really cool. So the tool path is done for the top. Look at this, it's just killer. It did an excellent job. This is just scrap wood. It came out really beautiful. Now, this is just a roughing pass. This is not a ball end finishing pass. I don't have a long enough end mill with a ball end. I'm only using what Makera sent. Pretty small step over, again with a flat end mill. But let's go ahead and take it out. So the contour path is done. So again, with the double-sided milling, I just eyeballed it by basically putting the center point origin in the center on both sides. So I was just using connecting lines all the way around. So double-sided milling was a piece of cake just by, again, making a perfect X at the center on both sides and then using the probe's laser to pinpoint that exact X. There you go, that's the way it looks. 2 transistors, couple of capacitors, couple of resistors. And I added a hole at the base where all the wires go through. The hockey puck essentially just has 3 things: the input jack, output jack, and the volume knob, which is for just continuity. And you have this standard sort of like computer electric braided thing that's hiding all the cables. So that's it, nothing to it. Just a handful of components that are soldered to the back of the acrylic. So let's go into the studio, plug it in, and let's hear it. The bug face sounds pretty darn good. It's just a classic fuzz face circuit. There's absolutely nothing special about it, except I did omit the fuzz pot, so it does have a 1K pot, and in its place I put a 1K resistor. That way it's always at full blast. The other thing that's a little bit different is that it's completely unshielded. So this means that almost everything that's in the atmosphere, all these extraneous frequencies and EMFs and RFs frequencies are all being captured by that, basically that input wire, as well as the exposed circuit. So it's a very loud, noisy pedal. You have to remember it's also a wooden enclosure, so there's no metal enclosure housing the circuit, protecting it from all those outside elements. So this is the world's most unshielded circuit, but it sounds really good. And the whole point was to make a piece of art that can sit on the desk. It's really cool to look at. It's a lot of fun to play. And it was a blast to make on the Makera Z1. So this was a project that was super inspiring because I made it as I was going along. I didn't actually have an idea until I was inspired by the material, idea that I could cut that brass, then seeing the acrylic and thinking, well, maybe I can just put the brass in the acrylic and maybe I can make a wooden base. So all these sort of like ideas stemmed from the original bug circuit idea. And it really does pay off. Just kind of play with the toy until you end up somewhere where you want to be. Anyway, it's a pretty darn cool pedal, and I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.